Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all well. Good to be back on Team Webinar. My name's Andy Boswell, as it says on the screen now. See, Dave Pemberton-Smith has been helping me out with the webinar system because he runs the same system himself, and he's shown me how to put my name on the screen. Exciting stuff. And we're back live with you again. Let's have a look how many attendees we've got. It's a little bit low at the moment, I think, for you. Sure, 192, not even up to 200 attendees. So make sure you phone people, text people, make sure they're in the room. Some of your people will let life get in the way and they forget about this type of thing, of course. And of course you can see in the top right hand corner of your screen, you've got some Twitter buttons and Facebook buttons, because if you do introduce anybody in and they come in and look at this, you can put a message on Facebook. If they come in and they're interested, we will point them back to you at the end of the training. Okay, and we've probably got a few guests as well. We're just about to nearly hit 200, I think. Okay, and if that's slightly wrong, it's because we do have a slight delay. It's about a 30-second delay, so you're watching me in time travel, I guess. Right, okay, a few things I've got to let you know about. We've said this before in the past, that, you know, it doesn't matter when you come in or when your team come in, they'll catch up wherever, or they'll start right from the beginning. That has changed now. Okay, if your team are not in at the start, they come in 10 or 15 minutes late, they're going to miss 10 or 15 minutes. So they'll have to watch the rest on repeat, I guess, or when we do put the video out. So obviously the best way is to get them in here at the start. And also, if you have people that say they have problems viewing the screen, and sometimes people do, recommend that you bring them in on Google Chrome, or suggest they come in on Google Chrome. This system is backed by Google Hangouts, so it's set up, if you like, for Google Chrome. Sometimes we have people that normally solves most of the problems. Okay, let me tell you a little bit. Oh yeah, first of all, one of the things we will have to do is tell people about the A's. Okay, maybe you can show people, some of you existing guys that are on here, about what you do with the A's. Okay, A's are just simply a way in a webinar language to give a round of applause, because the speaker can't hear you and can't see you, of course, to let you know, to welcome the speaker into the room, I guess, and obviously when you finish. So obviously you can show people what to do on there. And let's tell you about this evening's special guest speaker. Dave, first of all, would never do a webinar. Okay, one of the things he promises, I'm never ever going to do a webinar. I'll come and speak for you, but never do a webinar. Now he does webinars all over the place, so he's completely been convinced by this type of system. And both Dave and his wife joined Clean Easy when he was a postman. And his main reason for joining was so that they had enough money at the weekend simply to get a Chinese takeaway, because like a lot of people, all the money that was coming in was going out. Now they've now qualified for many overseas trips. They've even won a BMW 3 Series completely free from Clean Easy, and as well as now getting a superb income from their Clean Easy business. So again, press your A's for the one, the only Mr. Dave Pemberton-Smith.
Hi guys, how you all doing? And yes, Andy's dead right. When he first asked me to do a webinar, I point blank refused and would rather travel the distance down to Maidstone in Kent rather than do a webinar. That's kind of changed. I do them every week, and our team are really hot on doing webinars. So yeah, here we are on a webinar, and hopefully there's more than 200 on here. You must have all heard I was coming, so you've had something better to do. Anyway, let me quickly get on with my training tonight. Give me 2 seconds just to set this up. Okay, so where's my little remote control gun? Here we go. Question is, guys, are you a professional networker or an amateur? Well, here's a photo just to give you a visual as to what we're looking at. It's a professional photo of a nice young little baby on a white rug, and here's also a white rug with a baby on. Not quite the same result, but still the camera still the rug and still the baby, and I don't know whether they've nailed it. I know which photo I'd rather have. And this is the difference between professional and amateur. You can have all the same equipment but still not get the same results. And we all want a massive business with cleaners. We all want great success and a big team and all the things that go with that. So what we really need to do, guys, is just become a bit more professional about what we do. So let's just take a look at a couple of people over the years that have reached what I class as professional and see what they've kind of gone through to achieve that. And this guy here, I'm sure you'll all recognise KFC, Colonel Sanders. And this little curve and graph here is quite common within the networking world, quite common in business, in fact. And Colonel Sanders had a recipe, and it went out for 2 years to try and get a restaurant to take his recipe, and he had 1,009 restaurants say no to him in the space of 2 years. And I can imagine that's quite demoralising. And you know, he could have thought about packing in a number of times, and his option when he was at this place of 1,009 no's was either to give up and pack in and go home, which would have been failure, or to carry on and succeed. And luckily for us, he carried on and succeeded. And point out there, you know, the guy was 65 when he started this crusade across America to get his recipe out there. 1,009 restaurants said no over a 2-year period before one said yes. That's 9 to 10 restaurants a week that he was averagely going to, getting rejected 9 to 10 times. And when you put that into perspective about what we do, that's a pretty hard thing to do. I mean, I know he was cooking his chicken and kind of living off it. He was sleeping in the car as he drove across America. I mean, it's a pretty hard thing to get on and do, but he succeeded because he didn't give in. Okay. Thomas Edison, I'm sure you've heard of Thomas Edison, and he had an idea about a light bulb. He had a few ideas actually, but the light bulb is the one we all know. And it took him a year and 1,000 attempts to get the light bulb to work. So you know, he had 999 times when it didn't work before he got it to work properly. He was told, as a student, too stupid to learn anything. He was told he was too stupid to learn the thing, which I was told that as well. He was fired from his first 2 jobs for being non-productive. I've not been fired, but I've plenty of times I've been non-productive. And as an inventor, Edison made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts in inventing the light bulb. And a reporter had said to him, how does it feel to fail 1,000 times? And he simply replied, the light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps, which I think is a really good reply. And that really does tell us that you're not going to be ultra successful straight away. You might have to take a few steps, but in taking those steps, you'll achieve success. And that's an average of 19 steps a week that Thomas Edison took. 19 attempts a week as an average to create the light bulb. And again, that might have been quite disheartening. He might have had a year of thinking, am I ever going to do this? But he stuck with it and decided to succeed. Okay, so how about you? What have you done so far in your cleansing business to succeed? Where are you with all this success and failure stuff? So let's take a look at the graph of where you might be. So you joined cleaners and you probably were quite excited at the time of joining, and you spent a bit of time. That bit of time might be a few weeks, might be a few years, might even be longer. But you're at the point now where you're at the point of succeeding or failing in one way or another, and you can either choose to try again, take another step to success, or you can just give up and just plod on as you are, or quit or leave the business. Loads of options ahead of you, and really it's just down to whether you are prepared to become a professional networker, because the challenges are there for everyone, and all you've got to do is keep on going with the thing and become better and better and better at this thing called network marketing. So do you have the skills to be professional? Is your attitude motivating you to become professional? Because being professional takes a bit of effort and takes a bit of time, but it's something that you can all do. Are you committed to competence? And that's a word I really do like. Are you committed to competence, being the best you can be? But when is now the right time for you? If you've been in cleansing for a fair time and you haven't had the success you dream of having, you haven't had the success you know you can have, When are you going to step up to the mark and do the work required to become professional, to get the business sorted? When is now the right time? And that's another question I like to ask. When is now the right time? You see, you will either consciously decide to succeed, or you'll unconsciously decide to fail, or to stay as you are, or just to plod on, still have the business you've got and not let it grow at all. But it's a conscious decision. You see, being professional takes more effort. Being professional takes more consistency. And being professional is where the results that you desire are. So you've got to make that conscious decision to move the thing forward. You've got to decide now really to become professional, and decide now to improve your skills, decide now to work on your attitude, and decide now to commit to be competent. Decide now that now is your time. You know, we are heading into the best time in Clean Easy. I've been in this business, this is my 19th run up to Christmas. My 19th. In 19 years there's never been a bad run up to Christmas. So I know this year is going to be exactly the same, and probably even better. We make our biggest checks, we have our biggest turnovers, and the more people join our business. Now is the good time to decide that now is your time. Okay? But really it just becomes obvious that it starts and stops with you, because we've all got the same catalogue, all got the same opportunity, all got the same everything. The only thing that's different for all of us is the person sat in your chair listening to this webinar. So as soon as you make a decision, then a few things start to happen. Okay? And you can see by this little diagram here, once the decision's made, your attitude will start to be affected. And through your attitude being affected, you'll start developing your skills, and your skills will lead to better competence, and better competence naturally will progress you to being professional. Okay, so are you a professional networker? And do you have the skills to be professional? Is your attitude motivating you? Are you committed to competence? And when is now the right time? Let's just take a look at these 5 areas. Okay, decision is a simple one. You've got to decide and make it work. But let's take a look at attitude. And we've all had, and we all have an attitude. Whether it's the best attitude or not is up to you. But this is a simple little graph, that the minus is negative and the plus is positive. And the line across the center there is where most people are. And you have your ups and downs. I'm sure you can all answer in the chat box an indication of some ups and downs you've had. You know, silly ups and downs, like when you're first collecting your catalogues and there aren't many orders. Positives, when you're collecting your catalogues and there's loads of orders, and that goes right through to team building. Somebody joins your team and they leave, somebody joins your team and they do £1,000 and get the 10%. All these ups and downs are there for you, and you're going to experience them all. And what tends to happen is when you're working on your attitude, these ups and downs carry on, and the business will carry on, but your attitude towards them will develop. And the downs are still there, but they don't get you down. And the ups are still there, and you get more excited with them. And the whole thing, your attitude changes, and your belief will change through work in this business and developing your skills and all that kind of stuff. But attitude is massive, and the longer you stick with this, the more you do, the better it gets. How do things affect your attitude? It's done through the books. You know, people recommend you read books, and people don't read them. I really struggle going to meetings, and every meeting I go to, I check the tools table, check the books, and I usually buy a book. There's not many meetings I go to where I don't buy a book. And then I see people in the bar drinking a pint of beer and smoking and stuff, and they've not got a book. They've not bought a book because they've read 10. They think they're done. And in reality, you know, there's loads of books out there. I've got over 1,000 books on this business, and I still find books I've not read. Books are a massive part of making you successful, changing your attitude. Webinars, hopefully this one's going to help some people, but webinars are a great way to interact and a great way to learn some stuff. Going to the meetings is phenomenal. You can't beat going to meetings. Meetings are one of the cornerstones of our business. You need to travel across the country for meetings, no matter what. What do you think? You need to go there and learn from the meetings and associate with people. And that brings me on to association. Been around people that have got an expectation of more, you will naturally develop an expectation of more. Okay, or if you want to go down the pub and listen to all the people negging on about stuff, you'll start thinking that way as well. But association works either way. and it's up to you as to who you associate with. And this is something that's drummed into people, the system. Plug into the system, plug into the system. It's so true. The system is there and it's been designed for you to plug in and work. If you're not working the system will not work for you. And overall, all of that, you've got coaching. And this is where your sponsor and your upline will look after you and try and ensure you're making the right steps to the right place to make your business bigger. Okay, so let's take a quick look at skills. What skills do we need? The first skill is obviously retail. And obviously, you know, depending on what your team recommend for you, most teams recommend doing about £1,000 every period, and this is something you can either achieve straight away. I know myself, and then in our first month achieved £1,300 worth of retail. But some people take a bit of time to build up to this. But doing £1,000 is a piece of cake. £250 a week is not hard to do. It's just from consistent effort, and that will get you the £1,000. Once you develop your £1,000 and you do that regularly, you're on your way to developing a customer base. And once you've got a customer base in place, that's when this thing becomes brilliant, okay, and all is just coming without much effort at all. And that's all there is to the retail. Yes, there's more behind it and there's more things to learn, but those are the two stages of the retail. Do £1,000 and work towards your customer base. The retail sits within sponsoring, okay, so once you've mastered the art of retail, or you know, once you've got that under your belt, you can start sponsoring. I personally started sponsoring within 7 days of joining. You don't have to wait until you've mastered the whole of the retail. You can, you know, when you feel comfortable, get onto the sponsor. And I recommend you do it sooner rather than later. But in sponsoring, there's again 2 areas to master. There's warm market, and those are the people you know, your friends and family. And cold market are people you haven't met yet. Okay, and all you got to do is speak to people. Some will say they want to join, some won't. And when those ones that say they want to join, all you have to do is coach them how to retail. Now, if you've done it yourself, if you've done £1,000 and you're building a customer base, surely that's easy to teach other people because you've done it yourself. You're talking from experience. So all you have to do is help enough people join your business and then help them understand how to retail. Okay, it really is simple stuff. All of that fits within coaching. And this is as your team develops. You simply help people learn how to retail, how to do £1,000 and build the customer base. You then teach them how to sponsor their warm market, their friends and family, and also then how to sort of sponsor people they don't know and all that kind of stuff. And you just coach this on. 3 stages to our business, 3 areas you have to develop your skills in: retail, sponsor, and coach. You don't have to learn 10,000 different things. It's just a few. A few skills will see you right in this business. And again, those skills are learnt through the books, the webinars, the meetings, the association with people already ahead of you, the system, and through coaching. Okay, it really is as simple or as hard as you want to make it. You've only got to master 3 main areas, guys. Really is easy to do. Once you've got your skills in place, so we've looked at you making the decision to become professional, working on your attitude to put things in place, to get the right mentality in place and to have the attitude of success. That will then push you to learn the skills and become better than mediocre, become better than being an amateur, is to learn the skills, and that will give you competence. Now, competence really is just a measure of standards, okay? Everyone has standards. The first one that you're taught is to retail £1,000 each period. It's just a standard, but it's a competence standard, okay? Another one, read a book a month as part of the system. It's a competence standard because it gives you the results you need. Attend all the meetings and the webinars. Have a weekly coaching session. Some people don't call it coaching. Some people just say, like, you know, get together with your sponsor, but have them sort of look over your business and make sure you're on track. But it's a competence standard. Sponsor 1 person a week for 8 weeks. This is one of the competence standards we have within our team. Sponsor 1 person a week for 8 weeks is a competence standard. Once you can do that, here's a scenario. Let me give you a scenario. Just say you've sponsored 1 person a week for 8 weeks. You are then competent at sponsoring. If you choose to do less activity and less of the business and you don't sponsor 1 person for the next 12 weeks, that's not the system failing. That's not anything other than you not being at the measured standard. That's nothing other than you stepping back from the system rather than working the system. And this is what competence is. It's having that skill there. And at that point, you've only really got yourself to look at. You are the pivotal person in your business. 10 active wide is another standard put on by the company. It's a competence standard. It's what people measure things by. Okay, these are all in place. All you've got to do is develop the skills to reach the competence standard. Okay, so all you've got to do then is maintain the standards to be competent. And all the people you see hitting the levels and climbing the pay plan and qualifying for the conferences, all they're doing is maintaining the standards to be competent. That's all they're doing, guys. And it's something you can do through the system. You're getting a theme on this. I hope this is making sense. The books, the webinars, the meetings, the association, your team, the system is all there for you to maintain the standards and become competent, develop the skills, and become the success you wish to be. But it all comes back to you, and if you're not willing to do the work, it ain't going to work. Being professional is simple. Okay, professional networkers have momentum in their business. Professional networkers have growth within their teams. And if you look hard enough, you can see it in the Team Talk magazine and all around. Professional networkers have success. They have others attaining competence. Professional networkers coach others on how to develop the attitude and the skills and become competent. And once they're competent, they are then professionals within your own business. They have income, okay, and they enjoy the lifestyle that we all dream of having. Professional networkers enjoy that lifestyle, okay, and it's the lifestyle you all want. But yet the question is, are you prepared to do the work to get professional to have the lifestyle? You see, it's the lifestyle others desire, but it's the work you've got to do in the first place to get to that point. And it's just through the system. It really is as simple as that. It's just through the system. There's nothing more and nothing less to it. Stop working out or trying to work out why this thing is not working for you. It's really that you're not working the system that's in place. Nothing else even comes into it. It's just the fact that you're not working hard enough with it. You're not willing to work and put the work in to make this thing work for you. You see, amateurs are professionals who have not made the decision to be professional. You're not willing to step up to the plate and do the work required. You're not willing to develop the skills. You're not willing to do the work. It's as simple as that. Success in this business is really simple. Amateurs are professionals who have not taken enough steps to be professional. And they've not used enough tools to become professional. The nice thing with this business, when you're ready, your sponsor or whoever else is looking after you are there to look after you. When you're ready and when you've made the decision to start now's the right time, the people around you will be ready to pick you up and get you to the next level. All you need to do is just make the decision, work on the skills, work on the attitude, become competent, become professional, and the business will boom for you. It's as simple as that. Hope that's useful to people. I have come to the end of my slides, and I'm going to pass you back over to Andy now.
Thanks very much, Dave. That's excellent. You caught me out a little bit. Oh, I thought I was clicked on the wrong thing, but no, it seemed to be okay. So fantastic. Thank you for doing an excellent training for us. I hope you guys took plenty of notes with that as well. And next webinar is to be confirmed. Okay, we haven't actually set